Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today it's time for another preview show. Celtic head to Pittodrie tomorrow night to look for their 8th consecutive Scottish Premiership win, I believe. That is a fantastic winning run we're on just now. We'll look to carry that on in a game which is obviously going to be a tough test, but we've had a lot of good results at Pittodrie in recent times, and hopefully there's another one to follow tomorrow night. However, it couldn't be Celtic without having a negative to talk about when we're doing so well, when there's so much to be positive about. There are rumours circulating the internet this morning about a potential stand closure at the Raith Rovers game on Saturday. We're going to talk about that too. It's just, Celtic know how to spoil a good mood sometimes. And just to add in very quickly, because I made a mistake, 7 wins on the bounce in all competitions. They're looking for their 8th win on the bounce. It's only 6 Premiership wins on the bounce. Not too shabby either. Before we go any further with the video, please make sure to go down below and hit the big red subscribe button. We're almost at 33,000 subscribers. If we keep pressing that, we'll be there in no time, so please, it helps me out. And also press the big like button too, because it shares the content out with those who may not have discovered the channel quite yet. So if you could press the both of them, it would be appreciated. Right, I wanted to start off the video with something a little more negative, and which is annoying. It's really hard to do when things have been going so well. We've been nothing but positive, and we look to be having the best time possible. But there are rumours online this morning that Celtic are going to be shutting the bottom section of the standing section for Saturday's game against Raith Rovers. Now, I don't want to spend too long on this matter because it hasn't been confirmed yet. I don't think there's been any statement released by anybody, whether that be Celtic themselves, whether it be a health and safety part of the club, whether it be Police Scotland, whoever, I don't know. There's been no actual statement released as of this video being made, but the rumours suggest that the standing section, or the lower half of the standing section, is going to be shut on Saturday, which is an absolute gutter, considering how well things are going right now and how, connected the fans feel with the club at the moment. For Michael Nicholson and Celtic's boardroom to come out and do this is a real sickener. Now, the reasoning behind it is apparently because of the pyrotechnics used before the Celtic and Rangers game last week. The same pyrotechnics that were, applauded by the club on social media for our great atmosphere and all the rest of it. I really don't understand it. Look, listen, I know pyro is a funny one. There is laws, there's regulations, there's different things that have to be abided by. But to close the section when there's really no, there's no obligation to do so is, I think, quite sickening. It's a kick in the balls for the group of fans who are creating the atmosphere in the stadium. And it's a kick in the balls for the hard work that was put into a fantastic display. It set the tone of the game. And it's quite frankly annoying. A lot of people were starting to turn a corner with the Celtic board, weren't they? And I was always saying on this channel, I was going to remain a bit... I was going to stand off a little. For as much as we were spending money, we were making signings, and we seemed to be making the right strides. The one thing I always did say on this channel was, remember, Michael Nicholson was in charge when we had the whole Bernard Higgins situation going on, and that was treated with a lot of, it seemed, contempt for the fans. It didn't seem like we were put at the best. We still never had an official sort of statement, I think, did we? In regards to that Bernard Higgins situation and what was happening, it seems like the fans were left in the dark for it, and for that I wanted to stand off a little bit. I didn't want to come out and start going, oh, Michael Nicholson, best CEO in the land, and I didn't want to start giving it all of that. And I think this sort of situation, if it does come true, and we do see that part of the section closed on Saturday, is an example of why we should remain a little bit neutral towards it all. Look, it's just really annoying, really frustrating, and I think even Ange Postecoglou, for example, will be quite annoyed at that. Look, a lot of people hold these false opinions on that section of the stadium because of the Ultras group, because of stuff like pyro. There is plenty of people who sit in that standing section, and I have never heard a bad word of anything that goes on down there. I've never heard anybody say they feel unsafe down in that section. I've never seen anybody online saying that they feel unsafe, and that's with pyros, without pyros, with the ultra groups, without ultra groups. There's never really been a bad word said about it from people who sit in there. They've created an atmosphere at that game last week. They made, like, you've seen the images go everywhere online. Every news outlet, every publication was sharing photos of the display before the game, the pyros before the game, and it was just good words around the world being said about it. However, Michael Nicholson or whoever on the Celtic board has made this decision has done it targeting the fans again, and it just feels, like another backward step from a club that's heading completely in the right direction. All of us as fans are in unison right now with that team, with that manager, with this club and where we're going, and yet they find this the best time to go, no, you're away. Look, there probably will be a fine of sorts or something for Celtic to deal with, which some people always hold. Some people hold this opinion as if it's them that's paying the fine. Listen, none of us are paying that out of our pockets. It's coming out of Dermot Desmond's pockets, which is pennies to him. And it's just quite annoying. I don't know. I'm really, really frustrated at it. It annoys me. We've seen how empty it felt without the Ultras when we were going through that Bernard Higgins phase and we had the silent protests. And I know everybody's kind of split in the opinion of how we can cope with them or without them, and people want them and not wanting them, but I'm of the belief that, they do create the atmosphere. It is a better atmosphere with them, and I feel like this is a right middle finger to the fans if it does go through. So then, let's try and be a bit more positive, and let's talk about the team on the park. Let's talk about Celtic as they head to Pittodrie tomorrow. I think it's just about carrying on this fantastic form, isn't it? There's not much more we can ask for than that. We look unstoppable. We are unstoppable, and we've shown against Rangers last week, midweek. We've shown it against Motherwell at the weekend. It's time to go to Pittodrie and do the same thing. As I said, our form at Pittodrie hasn't been bad over the last few years. We've got some really good performances up there in the past, and I'm hoping that this is another one. Of course, the last performance at Pittodrie, that was a close one. That was a really tough one. We had to wait very, very late. Adam Montgomery got the assist for that 90th minute goal. It was a tough game, and I'm sure Aberdeen will test us with that once more. But just the way we are playing at the moment, if we can go out there fielding, a similar side to what we've seen in the last 2-3 games, and we can play the football we've been playing, this is another team that cannot handle Celtic at the moment, and it's another team we should be getting another 2, 3, maybe even 4 goals past. In terms of tactics and the way we set up, it is just the same, isn't it? Let's press them from the start, let's pile the pressure on them, attack from the first whistle, create chances, take chances. I think that's one difference right now in this Celtic side from, I'd say, the opening exchanges of the second half of the season to the opening exchanges of the first half of the season. I feel like we were missing a lot of great chances, a lot of great opportunities. We were getting balls into the area and missing goals. I feel like we've been a lot more ruthless, and I feel like we've been a lot more efficient in the final third over the past couple of games, and that's good. We needed an improvement in that, and that probably comes with the signing of players like Dyson Maeda, Rio Hatate, who has been, pretty convincing with his chances. It comes with signings as well. It comes with that. But you look at players like Abada, who has been fantastic all season. Don't get me wrong. He's been great from the first whistle to the last whistle against Motherwell at the weekend there. But I think that in the second half of the season, he's looked like a more ruthless player. He's looked a more confident player. And right now, a player like him is thriving on confidence. The whole team is. And I feel like we can take as many chances as we want at Pittodrie tomorrow night. It is a difficult period of games we find ourselves in. We have Aberdeen, of course, at Pittodrie. We've got a tough little run after that too. We haven't been handed the easiest cards to play with, but if we can get through this wee run of games, if we can get through to Pittodrie tomorrow night, I'm more than confident we stay top of the league as long as we like. So hopefully we kickstart. I say kickstart. What are we kickstarting? We've got nothing to kickstart. We have kickstarted, fuck's sake. We kickstarted as soon as the January break ended. You know what I mean? Just go to Pittodrie, continue the job tomorrow, and keep doing things the way we're doing it. So then, the opposition, we've got to, of course, talk about them as we always do in these match previews. Let's throw up Aberdeen's league form on screen. And yeah, for Aberdeen, it is pretty poor. It's been a pretty poor season overall, up and down, but it is a club in transition, you could say. Aberdeen fans, let me know what you think in the comments below. Of course, it's very different when it's coming from the fans of the club themselves. In their last 5, they have only won 1, and they haven't won in 4 in the Premiership. Win, draw, lose. Not the greatest form for Aberdeen at this moment in time. Their last loss was a poor one. Adam Montgomery actually made his debut, I think, in that loss as well. Compared to Celtic's form, it's two very, very different sides at the moment. Aberdeen, they are a side that has talent. It is a team that can make things happen, but right now they don't look as though they're making a lot happen, and they find themselves a place in the table where, they could finish either side of that divide, you know what I mean? this is a different Aberdeen side from what we're used to seeing. We're used to going to Pittodrie playing an Aberdeen side who's battling for third place, a few years ago even second place. Now it's a different Aberdeen side. It's a transitional Aberdeen side. It's one I'm more confident of beating, but it also gives you that little edge of fear that something could go wrong because they are that little bit worse. Christ, I've been bambling on for quite a bit in this video. So let's talk about my team prediction for tomorrow night. I think I was a little bit off with the last team prediction heading into the Motherwell game. I was surprised that Rogic came back into the starting 11, for example. I was surprised to see Juranovic dropped from the starting 11. But I think you've seen that with the changes that were made during the game and with the changes that were made at the start of the game against Motherwell, the idea of, okay, let's save some players for Wednesday. Ultimately, tomorrow night is a bigger game than I think Saturday. Of course, we want to go and win the Scottish Cup, but Raith Rovers, we've played them already. It's Celtic Park. It's a championship side. We should be winning no matter what team we field. Tomorrow night is, of course, a much more difficult and much more important game as we look to try and keep our spot at the top of the table. So who do I think will start tomorrow? Of course, Joe Hart, I think, will be in goals. That seems pretty self-explanatory. The back four, Ralston came in, played fine at the weekend, but I think Juranovic will come back into the team after starting on the bench. I think he'll take his right back slot back. Taylor to play at the other side as well with Carter Vickers and Starfelt still at the back. People are going to continue. I see every single preview show. Julian in the comments. Listen, Julian, if he's fit or not, isn't getting into a league team right now, I don't think. If he does, he does. But I just don't see it happening. Not out of any spite, not because I don't want to see him come back, but why on earth would you drop Starfelt or Vickers just now? None of the two of them deserve to be dropped. We have the best defensive record in the league. They look solid. They've been fantastic. I don't see why any of the two would be dropped at the moment. And I know Julian needs minutes in his legs, and he'll get that, but I don't see it through. When we're 1 point clear at the top of the table, it's not exactly the time, I think, to just throw him back in. Maybe if we make a sub later on in the game, but I don't even know if he'll be on the bench at the weekend. We've still yet to see him return to a match day squad. Or was he on one, actually? Was he on one? Ringing a bell that he might have been. Can't mind. But I think that'll be the back four. Middle three, Rogic has got to keep playing, hasn't he? After his performance at the weekend, he was fantastic. Also, a good record of goals at Pittodrie as well, I believe, just like his goals at Motherwell. So Rogic, I think, will start. I think that means O'Reilly will be on the bench once more, because I think Hatate and McGregor will join him as that middle three. And then the front three, Abada, just like Rogic, has got to start after his performance at the weekend. So I think Abada will be on the right. I think Jota will come back into the starting 11 and start on the left. And I think up front could be Dyson Maeda. I think he will start up front tomorrow night. It could be him or Yakimakis. It's pretty much a 50-50 between the two. I think there's nothing to suggest that one is favoured over the other, I think, at this moment in time. However, I do think it'll be Dyson Maeda who starts up front. So there's my 11 for tomorrow. So then, the last part of the video, score predictions. It's what you've come here for, I suppose. Aberdeen fans who might be watching, who knows. I am going to go with 3-0 to Celtic. I'm feeling confident right now, so why not show that instead of going, 2-1. I'm fed up of saying 2-1. I'm fed up of saying we're going to concede when we have the best defence in the league, and we seem pretty unstoppable. So I'm going to go 3-0 to Celtic. Hopefully another performance that the opposition can't handle, and that will do me. Anyway, that'll do us for today. Got opinions off at our chest. I'm just sitting, I got a notification from Celtic there, and I was ready to see if there was anything about the potential closure of the standing section, but we'll wait and see. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I know everybody will agree with my opening opinions, but that's all it is, an opinion at the end of the day. But I can't be bothered with the bootlicking stuff. Right, like and subscribe. See you next time.